Today in our 2018 Ford Focus, we're going to be installing Roadmaster's 12-volt outlet kit, part number RM-9332. This power outlet will allow you to use any of your 12-volt automobile accessories, from phone chargers, to lights, to seat heaters, to braking systems. This thing will cover it all. It's an easy one-time installation that'll be fuse protected and rated up to 20 amps. What's nice about this is that depending on how you install it, it can have different function. You can either wire it directly to your battery so it's powered all the time. So let's say your vehicle doesn't have a power outlet that's powered all the time, but you want it to be. You can have that. Or you can wire it up to a fuse that only gets powered while the key's in the run position. This can be nice if you have something that you want to leave unplugged all the time, but only operate when you're driving your vehicle. Now that we've gone over some of the features, let's show you how to get it installed. We'll begin our installation on our driver's side on the inside here. We're going to need to find a suitable location where we want to access our 12-volt outlet and look for a way to get our wiring routed from here to the outside. You'll see on the back wall a little cutout area. This actually you can remove it by just pulling outward, and that'll expose a grommet. Use a flat-bladed screwdriver to pop the grommet out of place. Next, we're going to feed through a fish wire. We're using airline tube as a fish wire, but you can use anything that's rigid but does have flexibility. A coat hanger is a good example. We're just going to feed that through to make it easy to find on the other side. Now that we've got our fish wire run through, we're going to take our wiring, tape it to our fish wire. Make sure that you go all the way up around the edge so it doesn't get caught on anything when you're pulling it through. Slide your bracket down on the open end of the wires towards the back end of your 12-volt socket. Then you're just going to have to press it on there. It is quite a tight fit. Now that you've got it pressed into place, we'll feed our wire through. We'll then mount our 12-volt outlet just onto the side panel at the lower left, just above our hood release lever. To make it a little easier, I do recommend that you slide the bracket just right back off, just to give yourself a little more room. We'll use the self-tapping screws provided in the kit and a 10mm socket. Line it up with your desired location and thread it on in. Do the same with the bottom hole. We'll now connect our wiring to power and ground. The fuse side is for power, the side with the ring terminal is going to go to ground. So we'll lift up our battery cover, exposing the location where we'll make our connection. Now typically you would install this under your fuse panel here and just tap right into a fuse with this Spade terminal. However, since we have a battery disconnect on our vehicle and we're going to be using this to power our braking system, we need power all the time, and when our battery disconnect has it disconnected, our fuses will have no power. So we'll be connecting it directly to the battery. Now since we are hooking ours to our battery because we have the battery disconnect switch, we'll need to chop off this end, strip it back, and crimp on a ring terminal. You can pick up ring terminals here at Etrailer.com. We'll connect our positive right to our positive battery cable. You can disconnect this using a 10mm socket. Slide on your positive and thread the nut back on. Verify your cable's nice and tight, and then we can connect our ground wire. This can go to any body ground on the vehicle. You can use a self-tapping screw, but our battery disconnect solenoid here has a ground post located right here, so we're just going to disconnect this nut and connect it right to our solenoid. We'll disconnect that nut using a 10mm socket. Slide the ring terminal on, and then we'll put our lock washer and nut back on and tighten it down. You can now reinstall your cover. That'll just snap back down into place. We'll now need to prepare to reinstall our grommet. Our grommet goes in this way. This is the top of the grommet. So we'll take our razor knives, starting towards the center, working towards the top of the grommet. And we're just going to cut a slit in it for our wires to poke through. Now slide your wiring down through the slit that we made in our grommet. And then we'll push our grommet back into place. After you've got your grommet popped back into place, we'll use some black silicone, which you can pick up here at Etrailer.com, to fill in any gaps that may form around it. And now we can test it out by plugging in any of your accessories. And as you can see, it's working properly and our accessory is working. And that completes our installation of Roadmaster's 12-volt outlet kit, part number RM-9332, on our 2018 Ford Focus.